described the attack as targeting the Shia community, in the latest in a series of sectarian attacks in recent years. The European Union has conditionally approved plans for the German chemical company Bayer to buy the US company Monsanto, clearing a major hurdle towards a significant consolidation of the global agrochemical industry. Under the deal, Bayer will hive off some of its herbicide and seeds businesses to ease the EU's concerns about restricting competition. The tie-up still needs the approval of US regulators. Germany has returned a pair of 3,000-year-old statues to Mexico following a decade-long legal battle. The wooden busts are relics from the ancient Olmec civilization. Mexico says they were stolen from an archaeological site in the 1980s before ending up in the hands of an art dealer. He took the sculptures to Germany where they were seized by the government. BBC News.
Thanks. You're listening to the newsroom from the BBC World Service with me, Nick. And let's go straight to Nigeria, where people in the northeastern Nigerian town of Dachi are celebrating the freeing of most of the schoolgirls kidnapped by Boko Haram militants last month. While there was lots of jubilation in the town, very relieved relatives of those girls, a government statement said that the students were released early on Wednesday morning. I'm joined now by Manny Jones, our Neighbours correspondent. Manny, what do we know about the circumstances?
Hi, yes, so we know that, as you said, the girls were released at about 3 a.m. Local time on Wednesday morning. They were apparently very tired. They said they'd been travelling for at least 4 hours and were taken straight to hospital for medical checks. Some parents also claimed that they looked malnourished and underfed. One young girl speaking to her dad said that they had to prepare a lot of their own food and were kept in an area that was not visible by airplane. The government says that it negotiated the release of the schoolgirls, and we spoke to the minister, Lai Mohammed, and this is what he had to say.
One of the students that were released were not dropped in one place. They were dropped on the road, and they went back, of course, naturally to their parents' houses. They are now being asked to come and be documented at the center.
So obviously, relatives in Dapchi are elated. We're hearing that many neighbors are flooding into the houses of the relatives of the girls that were kidnapped to congratulate them. But there's also been sad news in that the girls that were released said 5 of their companions died whilst being held.
And the government saying that no ransom was paid. So do we have any idea exactly what happened for the release time?
Yeah, unfortunately, we don't know yet what they may have traded. Many analysts believe that they must have traded something quite valuable towards Boko Haram. When the Chibok girls were abducted in 2014, you might remember, the government said that it traded former Boko Haram militants in exchange for some of the schoolgirls. But in this particular case, it's unclear whether the same tactic was used again. The government is adamant that it did not pay any money for this.
The suspected Austin parcel bomber is dead. The Texan city had been on high alert for weeks after 2 people were killed in 6 separate explosions. Police had tracked the suspect back to a hotel on the outskirts of the city. Austin Police Chief Brian Manley described what happened when the man tried to drive away.
We began following the vehicle. However, the vehicle ended up stopping in the bar ditch on the side of the road behind us. As members of the Austin Police Department SWAT team approached the vehicle, the suspect detonated a bomb inside the vehicle, knocking one of our SWAT officers back, and one of our SWAT officers fired at the suspect as well. The suspect is deceased and has significant injuries from a blast that occurred from detonating a bomb inside his vehicle.
That was Brian Manley. Well, earlier I spoke to the CBS reporter at the scene, Jordan Bonnke, who gave me the latest.
So what we know about this 20-something, I believe it's 26-year-old white male, is that the first look that we got was about 2 o'clock Central Time here in Central Texas in Austin. We have surveillance video from him when he went to a FedEx. You can see him in a blonde wig, and it looks like he's wearing multiple pairs of baggy pants in some sort of disguise. And sadly right now we don't know, or for investigators, we don't have a motive because he blew himself up. And that's going to be a problem for them going forward. But what it could potentially be a clue as to why he put, all of these explosives from March 2nd all the way now to March 21st throughout the city, killing 2 people and injuring several others, is that on one of those packages in that security video, you're seeing names, and that could be very crucial for this investigation.
Now, the police aren't naming the suspect, but they are telling people to remain vigilant. Why is that?
So they're telling people to remain vigilant right now is because they can't account for where the suspect was in the past 24 hours. And so they know that he's very apt in putting together these bombs, and they don't know, and there could be more out there. In fact, there's an investigation in Schurz, Texas, underway right now, which is at a distribution center for FedEx. And they're going to be combing through these packages to see. And in fact, they actually have an undetonated package as well, and that was going to be a big part. We talked with a lot of retired FBI agents. That was going to be a big part of trying to find out who the suspect was trying to figure out how he's making these bombs and if there are any sort of forensics or DNA on these explosive devices that are really sophisticated. If they were detonated by motion, we found out, and there was even one in a southern part of our city that was detonated by a tripwire.
Describe, if you can, the sense of relief that's going to be felt in the area now, because people were really modifying their behavior. They were really frightened.
Well, just the other day, when my wife ordered something, I came home and there was a package at the front door, and I didn't even open the door until I got her on the phone to say, what did you order? Can you tell me what it is? Can you describe to me the logo that would be outside of the box? And there were so many stories throughout the city like that. And right now, after we heard that the suspect was dead this morning, people are going to be waking up with this enormous sigh of relief, thinking, finally, I can perhaps go back to not having to worry about my Amazon package or whatever may be at my door, and I can just get back to regular life. However, Austin police did say, hey, be vigilant, because we don't know where he was in the past 24 hours.
That was Jordan Bonnke from CBS. An Austrian film from the 1920s which predicted the rise of Nazis and which was once thought to have been lost forever is being shown for the first time in decades in Vienna. The city without Jews was rediscovered in a flea market in Paris in 2015 and has now been restored thanks to a huge crowdfunding campaign. Our Vienna correspondent Bethany Bell reports.
The City Without Jews is an eerily prophetic film. A silent movie, it tells the story of a city called Utopia which expels all its Jews. Set after the First World War, it shows how Jews are made scapegoats for rising prices. In 1925, a year after the film was made, its author, Hugo Bettauer, was killed by a Nazi. The movie disappeared and for many years was believed to be lost, until a complete version was found in a flea market in Paris in 2015. It's now been restored. The Austrian Film Archive organised a huge crowdfunding campaign to save the film. The movie has a happy ending, with the Jews returning to their city. In reality,